This week on Arcade Couch, we're talking about everything from Sony's first state of play for 2026. I've been playing the new God of War game as well as Mario Tennis Fever, and Ash has dove into Mewgenics. Welcome to Arcade Couch, the best place to chill with your friends, get your gaming goodness each and every Monday. My name's Dylan Blight, and joining me on the couch this week, Ashley Hobley.
Hey Dylan, excited to be here on a big PlayStation themed week.
That's right. Platinum Explosion. It's back in.
Finally. One last time.
One last time. Bringing it back.
Till the next state of play.
It's happening. So obviously State of Play was a big thing that happened this week, so we'll get right into that. What did you make? It was, a full hour. The first showing of PlayStation for 2026. Did they step out on a good foot?
Yeah, I think so. I think they had a lot of interesting things to show and like a wide. I think there was definitely something there for everyone, and they kind of, I think they gave us a glimpse at a fair amount of first party stuff to make people who are desperate for that kind of stuff happy. And I think that it was a good showing that kind of flew by.
And one thing I want to check is I've seen a lot of complaints online there was no Wolverine here, but I don't know if people missed it, but there was Wolverine in the.
Yeah, Wolverine was in the.
Yeah,
play.
So I don't know what
way you wanted.
Everyone just keeps saying no Wolverine. I'm like,
you need to
clarify.
clarify.
You're watching, yeah.
Marvel's Wolverine.
Oh, Insomniacs, right?
Yeah.
I thought it was a really good state of play. I quite enjoyed it. I think the best thing that sort of worked out quite well for this is they basically inserted a mini Konami showcase into the middle of it, which I think worked really well for the state of play, plus also helping alleviate if people tuned in solely for that as a separate thing, which Konami's tried to do before, and then people were like, well, that was 10 minutes of whatever. Could have been a blog post, but yeah, it could have been an email. But I think inserting it within this and combining it in with everything else that was here really helped both sides. That was like a good sort of partnership thing that worked out well for everyone there. So, all right, let's run through it. So we kicked off with Kenna Scars of Cosmora. So follow up to Kenna Bridge of Spirits, of course. Kenna a bit more grown up in this one. She's got looks a lot more viscerally interesting with the combat. She's riding around on a wolf creature thing that looks pretty cool. There's more spirit creatures. Visually, it looks still as good, as good as the first one. The art style was always the captivating thing that had everyone eager for the first game. So my complaints about the first game were a lot of sort of gameplay things, I guess. So the world was always interesting, characters interesting and stuff. It just felt like they didn't quite nail the overall gameplay. But this one looks obviously has a lot more going on for it. So I'm pretty keen. I really like this trailer and it was a good way to start it. Did you even dabble?
No, I never played. So. But yeah, obviously it looks a lot more developed and that kind of thing, or like more advanced. It's missing all the little cute creatures that I believe from the first game, so that you restored or whatever. They don't seem to be.
No, I think I saw one in it somewhere. So I did see one. I think right then they do show like some sort of spirit creature and stuff. So I think it still has all the cute creatures.
Okay.
In some regard, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, obviously, there was a lot of positivity around the first one. And, coming in with the sequel, you hope that Ember Labs has learned a lot from making that first game.
It's coming out this year too, so that's exciting. So add that straight into the PlayStation calendar. The exclusive game for them this year, announced in February, coming out at some point this year. So, I mean, the first one did get delayed a couple of times, so hopefully this doesn't go through the same thing. But cool. Then we got Yotai Legends was finally announced, of course, much like they did with Ghost of Tsushima. This is a multiplayer spin-off thing where you can play as one of 4 different characters, which are basically 4 different classes, and it's a multiplayer. What do you call them? Like mission structured things. Comes out
PvE.
March 10th. PvE, yeah. So March 10th for that one. and everyone loved Legends the first time around, so I assume everyone will still love and be excited about this.
I appreciate the more supernatural, I guess, tone. I guess the original Legends, like Tsushima Legends, also had like that supernatural element to it.
Yeah, they lent into because the game would tease or have these like not proper supernatural, but like tease supernatural sort of stuff, and then the Legends thing like went full into the supernatural stuff. So
yeah, because the designs of the Yotai 6 in this look pretty cool. So
just don't have a full on snake, right? We didn't. It's like could be roaming around as a stealth. Death Stranding 2 on the beach is coming to PC on March 19th, including all the stuff you'd expect, ultra-wide support, etc., etc., etc. So if you've been waiting to play that on PC, there you go. Then we got a trailer for Loop, or no, it was like a full-on gameplay deep dive. It's a PvE. I'm not sure if it's PvE or just PvE. Anyway, it's like a co-op thing. It looked all right. I wasn't blown away, but I was like, nice.
No, it looks like what you'd kind of expect from the studio, and it looks like a attempt to recapture the Left 4 Dead kind of vibes. Sorry.
Which everyone's been trying to capture for ever at this point, I feel.
Yes, since Left 4 Dead.
Yeah, since Left 4 Dead, yeah. We got another short trailer for Pragmata, which is at this point just showing up in every showcase. Because the game's now actually coming out, so like we can go back to marketing it.
Yeah, we've got to show it as many times as possible to as many people as we can, because we've been working on this forever.
We've been working on this for like 6-7 years or more at this point. Oh, sorry, No, I'm not saying that. Resident Evil Requiem got a new trailer. Shows Leon returning to home to the police station and everything else like that. He's also infected on his arm or something. Who knows what's going on there? Find out soon. Also, I'm sort of just over the trailers for Resident Evil Requiem at this point. We had a lot of trailers for this game. And I understand this is obviously marketing and whatever, but I'm like, good Lord, do I feel like I've seen a Resident Evil Requiem trailer like every 3 to 4 weeks at this point for the last couple of months.
Yeah.
So.
Can you overmarket something? Possibly.
I don't know. I guess the only reason I ever go, the asterisk I always put on it is...
We're seeing it so many times because we're watching everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I try to think. I'm like... I get annoyed because I'm... Yeah, most people aren't watching everything, is I guess. Legacy of Cain Defiance Remastered was announced. So this was the last last Legacy of Cain game. It's getting a remaster, and it's going to also have content in it that wasn't an unfinished sequel or something along those lines. So, I mean, all I know is between this remaster being announced, they did the one last year. I don't know if there's any hope for the Legacy of Cain fans about a proper sequel, but you better be buying this.
I mean, do you remake all the games if you don't have the intention?
Well, I guess the intention
different
would be relying on if they think if these do well enough for them to have the numbers to show it's worth making a new one. But then
apparently they are working on a game called Legacy of Cain Ascendance, which is a new 2D platformer.
I think that counts.
I don't know enough about Legacy of Cain to know whether that's...
They're 3D action adventure games. But that's what people would count as a proper new...
Yeah, okay. So a proper entry, Legacy of Cain.
Yeah. It's like we'll get later on, there's another franchise in here that's getting its first proper entry in a very long time, even though there's been other games. But they went the normal way those games are made, so that doesn't count. Brigadine Abyss? I've already forgot what this was. Oh, it's a strategy anime thing, right? Yeah. Look fine. I had nothing. You like strategy games more than I do.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what this game is as well.
It was super anime aesthetic, and it was
potentially could be quite interesting. Obviously, going for that I don't know, Fire Emblem vibes or like Final Fantasy Tactics, hex based maps. We'll wait and see. Not a lot shown here to go on other than vibes, I guess. So.
Yeah. Dead or Alive 6 last round got announced. It adds improvements, whatever, like the overall world of improvements, adds photo mode and a bunch of other stuff, and it comes out June 25th. Then Control Resonant got a gameplay deep dive, or a gameplay trailer, I guess. Showed off Dylan Faden's powers, how his weapons will work in it, also what Manhattan looks like in this. Very keen, of course, for this, and loved everything that's see here. It's very cool to see all the, I don't know, what are we calling it? The Inception or the Doctor Strange, like going to different buildings. They're upside down. Yeah. They're all turning in sideways, going all over the place. Seeing a bit of the combat and how it's playing differently compared to the first game, the more melee focus, but also changing up the weapons on the fly, combining them with different powers that he'll get throughout the game. You know, being able to like force push enemies or whatever the hell he was doing there at some point, and whatever else. And then, still got a bunch of really creepy, interesting creatures, obviously floating around the place as you'd expect from a Control game. Yeah, I mean, too scary for you still?
Oh yeah, absolutely terrifying.
Was there a thing with the first? You thought the first one looked too creepy?
Maybe a little bit. I just never got around to it.
Then Crimson Moon was announced, a co-op third-person medieval game, which I don't know. I thought it looked pretty cool. I don't really know, like, wasn't blown away, but I was like, oh, it's kind of cool. Look, I don't know, look fine.
It kind of looks generic, so it's hard to. It didn't really leave any sort of impression.
That's fair. And then Beast of Reincarnation showed up for the first time in the PlayStation show. Game Freak's upcoming non-Pokemon game. So it was at Xbox's show, and now it's here. So it's coming to everything, which is good. Yeah. This trailer focused heavily on having a wolf companion and also showing off a lot more of the combat. One thing I noticed in this trailer is the very seems to be parry heavy, or at least that's how the gameplay was showing off here. And they really like sort of singing home with the, like every time you hear that ding ding, like there was a lot of, I don't know if you noticed that as well, but when you like, there's a part there where like constantly like parrying weapons, and it's like the parry noise is turned up full blast because it's like pew pew pew. Like they really want you to feel like you're parrying. But looks really cool. I'm very keen for this. Do you have any other thoughts? I mean, we talked about this a couple weeks ago when it was at Xbox, but be more keen to play it now that it's coming to PlayStation.
Oh yeah, that makes a huge difference.
I thought so. You see. Rayman 30th Anniversary Edition was announced. It's going to contain multiple versions, 5 different versions of the same game. But yeah, and a bunch of behind-the-scenes features and stuff. So that's out now if you would like to play the OG Rayman. Then we got a Mina the Hollower trailer. There's a demo out now, PS5 exclusive demo on available. It says it'll be available for a limited time, but I assume that just means the demo is going to be available up until the game launches, and then they'll probably get rid of it. But
yep.
They haven't announced a new release date. Obviously, the thing with this game was it was very close to releasing last year, and then they delayed it like a couple weeks out from its release, so that was annoying. But I don't know, still looks good. I don't really want to play the demo because it's not like
it all to be fresh.
Yeah, I just want to play it. I mean, I don't feel like the demo is going to be
change
like
your opinion.
Oh, change my opinion. I'm already keen to play it. It looks like they're doing it. You know, Shovel Knight was 2D side scrolling throwback, or whatever we want to call it, like Mega Man sort of inspirations and stuff. And this is very obviously like more Zelda inspired, like the classic, you know, top down dungeons, weapons, stuff like that. So I don't need to play a demo to know I'm keen for that. Then we got a DLC announced for Naver. Never. I think they say Naver though. Naver. That's coming out on February 19th. It is a prologue set before the events of the first game, in which you find out how the human and wolf characters met within the game. I played Never. Quite enjoyed it. Very pretty. This looks a lot more combat heavy than the original game, so that'd be interesting. The first one was sort of, I don't know, mostly, I feel like it was mostly just platforming puzzles and stuff like that. It has a really cool sequence towards the end of the game where you got platforming off walls, like that are mirrored walls and stuff. But yeah, that's the sequence that stands out to me. So I'd be keen to play this. Then we got Yoko Shinobi Ops. Is that how I'm saying this? Yoko Shinobi Ops. It's a stealth 4-player tactical game with supernatural creatures.
Yep.
Looked pretty cool, but it's not coming out until I forgot to put the date here, but I think it's like 2027, something like that. This was the latest date I remember from the showcase. Well, something that actually had a date. There's some stuff here that just didn't have anything. So yeah. Then we got Project Windlass. So this is, I thought this looked fucking cool. Trailer starts, you see some weird creatures and stuff, and then there's a chicken man fighting a bunch of people in very Dynasty Warriors inspired combat, just swinging weapons around, going absolutely ham. I was like, this shit looks insane. I'm keen for this. What's it? And it pops up on the screen. It says from the book series, The Bird That Drinks Tears. So I'm like, I'm keen. This world looks interesting. Tell me more about the book series. Went and Googled it. It's not out properly in the West, as far as I could discover.
Yeah, it's a South Korean book series, from what I can see.
Yes, South Korean book series that is apparently hugely popular, and I see the words thrown around like South Korea's Tolkien, as far as like world building and stuff like that. So my Google search quickly started me hyping up the 3 books that are in this series. So I am keen to look into the books, because the books are going to become available before this game that doesn't even have a proper title becomes available, presumably, on some Australian bookstores. I looked. I think they had like June as a release date for like when the proper published Australian publication will be. So, yeah, here's a video game. But anyway, more interesting if you want to read the books that apparently there's rather interesting worlds based on. But there's really unique looking clans and basically a group of people that apparently eat their own hearts so they can live forever and basically be gods. I was like, that shit sounds intriguing to me. So, what do you make of this? What do you make of this?
Yeah, it definitely looked, well, I mean, world-wise, it's looks something like nothing we've seen before, I don't think. But like gameplay-wise, it definitely feels like, Dynasty Warriors. Also got God of War vibes. Might be just from him jumping on this giant troll-like creature and taking him down. That sequence, but yeah, looks intriguing. Obviously, there's a few other things you probably like Biomutant or like Wukong, I guess. Those kind of games you kind of maybe because of the anthropomorphic protagonist and that kind of stuff.
I think that's just the because I don't know if it is all going to be like it, but at least in this reveal trailer, it's like most of the combat they showed was hundreds of thousands of enemies just
like
being
fighting a lot of people.
Yeah, so which is the Dynasty Warriors. Yeah. Whether or not that's sometimes, but also there will be one-on-one harder boss fights and stuff, which would lean more towards your God of War, Wukong, whatever. It could be a mix. No one's really done a mix before, I guess. It's usually one way or the other. So, Star Wars Galactic Racer got a new trailer. This game, I mean, when they reviewed it, I was like, might be okay. I think I'm sort of pretty keen for it now. It's just the fact that it seems to have a story mode and everything now. It's not just a arcade racer. It's pretty cool. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty keen. So, you know what I like? Pod racing.
It seemed like the entire trailer, you weren't going to get pod racing, and then the very last shot, pod races, and one of the guys from episode, another guy from episode 1, right? So.
I wonder, when's this set? Where is this canonical?
Yeah,
we need the facts.
Oh, is this set before episode 1?
I don't think it's set before. Oh, it could be actually. Yeah, I don't know actually. We got another trailer for 007 First Light. it's fine. Another
It's more-
game I'm sort of like, cool. Just
It's more, but also a lot of stuff that we've seen before cut in a new way.
yeah. They really, every trailer, they really just love to go on the angle of Bond was such a bad boy, and he's a naughty little man, and we're going to re-enable the 007. But ladies, look out, because this is a bad boy. That's how every trailer, I swear, comes across to me. Then we got the announcement so then we moved to the Konami segment I was sort of talking about before.
Yep.
So we got the announcement of Metal Gear Solid Master Collection 2, which includes Metal Gear Solid 4 Guns of the Patriots and Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker. Comes out August 27th, so that's cool. I think this one's more exciting than the first collection solely because Guns of the Patriots has sort of just been trapped on PS3 and is a very hard game to... Like, if you're someone who... Yeah. Basically, if you especially if you started even last... Let's say you played Phantom Pain, and that was your entry into Metal Gear Solid, and you're like, man, I want to go back. Like, it was so... You could find collections and stuff and find... But getting Guns of the Patriots was always a pain in the absolute ass. Yeah. Peace Walker has been not that hard. Because it started on PSP and then it got put in the HD collection before anyway. So, but that's cool. The funniest thing though was the, and there's nothing against the game because I actually think the game looks pretty cool. But the ending this segment and going look forward to what's in Metal Gear Solid's future, and then going and now have a look at this. And then it cuts to like a box sneaking across and it out pops fucking octopus arm because they're showing off Darwin's Paradox, which will have a demo crossover for Metal Gear Solid. But it was just for everyone sitting there, it's like, yep, collection, very good. Look forward to the future Metal Gear. Yep, I will. And now take a look at this. Oh, teaser trailer for new Metal Gear. No, get fucked. But anyway, Darwin's Paradox looks pretty cool, I think. So like little octopus stealth game. I'm pretty keen. I think it was fun. That comes out April 2nd. Then, so we got Castlevania Belmont's Curse was announced. This looks the shit. So a brand new 2.5D Castlevania game. They have not made one in what seems like half a lifetime. Has more modern art, a bit more, as they talked about, modern gameplay elements and stuff like that, but still your core Castlevania experience that people would want. I think this I don't know if it's my favorite, but it's definitely top 3, I think, trailers for me from the showcase. I thought this looked really, really good. New protagonist, but then they tease and show Belmont at the end of the trailer, so that's cool. Did you have any thoughts on this one? Or
no, obviously, I guess the teams behind Dead Cells, a lot of the Dead Cells DLC and that kind of stuff are working on this. So people who obviously know the genre and like it a lot. Okay. So that makes sense. Again, continuing, Konami like outsourcing, I guess, some of these IPs to studios who desperately want to do stuff with them. Smart.
Yeah, well, they've got no creative juices over there because they all leave. We'll get fucked over and leave. Good day. Then we got an announcement for Silent Hill Townfall. Or not an announcement, sorry. This did get a teaser trailer previously. This is our first proper trailer for Silent Hill Townfall, which I really was sort of keen to see what this would be like because the developer, which is Screenburn Interactive, but they were no code before that. They did Observations, Stories Untold, and I think a couple other things I can't remember before that. But I've like Stories Untold was really good. I liked it in Observation as well. But they were like more, I don't know, they didn't have any action in them, especially definitely not Stories Untold. So when this started and there's, you're still shooting a gun and it's first person and there's combat. It's not just creepy plus puzzles, which I was thinking it potentially was going to be. That's pretty cool. So, this is an interesting partnership too, where it's Konami, it's Annapurna, and Screenburn. So, yeah. Did this one scare you, especially at the end where the creepy monster was in the hotel room?
The period pyramid head.
Pyramid thing, yeah. It's not like original Pyramid Head. It's like some different version.
It's a slightly different shaped head.
Yeah, I don't know if we're calling it different. But anyway, yeah. Did you creep you out?
Yeah, I have no interest.
It's a good trailer though, right?
Yeah. If you're into that thing.
Then we got an announcement for, this was the last of Konami's bit. So we got an announcement for a game called Rev Noir. What are we calling Rev Noir? What am I saying? Rev Noir? Nev Noir.
Yeah, Rev Noir.
We'll go with that. It's a JRPG, a new IP. It looked, just ticked all the JRP sort of boxes, but it didn't look particularly exciting. It wasn't doing anything, at least that stood out to me. Not to say that it couldn't get more interesting down the line, but they were putting this at the end of their segment and being like, sort of get excited about this. I was like, maybe not now, but
yeah, it just looked like them trying to capture Dragon Quest, Final Fantasy.
Yeah, Dragon Quest is probably a good,
those vibes.
Or Tales was the one.
Tales, yeah.
Tales games, yeah.
Trying to start one of those franchises, yes.
Yeah. Then we got the reveal of a John Wick game, which at the end of the trailer says John Wick, but then in all the press releases and stuff afterwards, they were like, no. It's untitled John Wick.
Which I hope is the final title.
Yeah, they're just copying the Goose Game. They're like, get up to the last week before release. They're like, you know what? Fuck it. Untitled John Wick game. Go for it. Very cool trailer. I liked it. I thought it showed off everything that you'd sort of expect to see in a John Wick third-person action game. More keen to find out what sort of combat are we going for here, what style of game. I think a lot of people jumped to the same sort of thoughts in the comments of the trailer that I was thinking about, which is like, are you just going to be like, hey, let's sort of do Sifu combat, but but like John Wick, like what? Or are we going to, or is that too, you want like the audience to be more broader and that's a bit too hard, so hardcore or whatever. So we're just going to make it a fun action game. I don't know, Max Payne or something. So they're the sort of questions I have. But as far as like visually and vibes wise, it was ticking the John Wick boxes. And they did say also that Keanu is back. So doing the voice. I really want to know if he recorded the line, yeah, or they just cut that from one of the trailer, another movie. Yeah, because if they like, hey, Keanu, sign here in the dotted line to do the VO for game. He's like, yeah. Now quickly jump in the booth. I need a yeah. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's what people have wanted for a while, like a John Wick game, and like obviously. It's more difficult to like do another movie than it is to like, I assume, do this story that's probably set before the events of, even the first movie would be my guess. If
I was guessing, I'd say it's set before the.
It would be like when he missions as developed younger.
Yeah, that's what I was assuming. Yeah, because you can't set it between any of the movies or anything because they're so
condensed,
so intertwined. Like they basically pick up after one another straight away nearly.
Yeah.
Well, some of them do, literally. But then we got a trailer for Bungie's upcoming Marathon, showed off the game, gave I think a really good idea of what the game is if you haven't got an idea, which they needed to because they're doing a server slam which is taking place between February 26th and March 2nd. Also, I like that name. I don't know if anyone's used that before and I just haven't noticed, but I like the hey, it's not an open beta or anything because really, we want you to jump on so we can just test the servers. Just
we need to get as many people on as possible so we can make sure the shit works day one when you pay money for it.
Yeah. So I like that wording. But yeah, I think overall, then the game's out officially on March 5th, but it's just
really not far away.
Yeah, not far away. Then they went over the PlayStation Plus stuff coming up soon. They announced that Marvel's Spider-Man 2 will be added to the PS Plus game catalog on February 17th. And then you've also got Tekken Dark Resurrection and Time Crisis being added to the PS Plus Classic catalog. And Big Walk is going to launch on PlayStation Plus later this year. So out of those, the things that stood out to me the most were Time Crisis in the Classics catalog, which I really want to because I'm like, if you don't have the gun, it can't be that fun, but I do want to try it with the I get the gyros and the DualSense or whatever.
Okay.
That's how they were pitching it to play it, I guess. But then obviously Big Walk coming to PlayStation Plus is a pretty big. That's pretty good.
That could be potentially a huge.
Yeah.
I think that makes sense. Like, especially being a multiplayer game as opposed to their previous one, which was Untitled Goose Game. This one you want to get in as many people's hands as possible. So I think that pretty much guarantees we'll be playing Big Walk.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Well, you had no choice either way. So,
well, now it's easily accessible.
Yeah, now it's easily accessible. I think it's a very smart move because as much as you could rest on the laurels and be like, hey, yeah, but it's from the people that made Untitled the Goose Game. Everyone knows that, but it's just so different to that. I just don't think you can rest on that and assume that people would buy it because of that. So, and then if you once you get into the fact it's a communal game, not which Untitled Goose Game did add co-op eventually, but was a single player thing.
Mm-hmm.
Bit different. So that's good. Then Saros got a gameplay overview trailer, and I think this was the best trailer in the whole showcase because everything looks amazing. Everything is just like watching the gameplay. If you want to compare, you watch a lot of trailers where it's like work in progress and they're a year out and stuff, and you give them a little bit of leeway because and good example from last year when we talked about the 007 trials, like that car sequence looked rough, but still in development, whatever. But I was watching this gameplay, I was like, man, this shit just done. This shit is locked and ready. Like, just give it to me now. Obviously, I loved Returnal, and it's just building upon everything from Returnal, but I think it's just everything else they showed is just adding more to make, I think, a much more interesting game. They'll hopefully get more people playing it, be that having a actual story that's not a bare minimum sort of just something that's there but not a focus. It seems the story is like a lot bigger thing here, including having characters that you can literally go talk to between runs and stuff like that. Then they go over all the things that pissed off people and that people struggled with from Returnal. So it's like every time you die, you can upgrade stuff. They're permanent. There's no, you will get, whereas Returnal literally was just go again. Am I stronger? Mentally.
Hopefully mentally.
Yeah. You'll get better as you play. This one's like, no, you can actually upgrade things and get stronger. So it's fitting into the actual proper roguelike element that more people like and we're accustomed to, I guess, between obviously Hades and Dead Cell and whatever else. And then they showed off some other stuff that I thought was quite interesting as well, with the being able to turn on modifiers. Again, Hades does this quite well, but it seems to be accessible from the start of the game potentially. But turn on modifiers that can make the game easier, but you still have to balance it. Like you can't just go ham into the turn on all the easy settings because they had a little arm thing or whatever you want to call it. It's like you have to make sure you balance it out so it sits in the middle. So if you turn on a bunch of enemies' health are weaker, sort of shenanigans and stuff, it looks like you have to potentially turn on some stuff that would at least balance out the difficulty somewhat. So it's like if you struggle with certain things, you might be able to make those things easier, but then you got to balance it by potentially making some other things harder for yourself. I don't know, but it's really intriguing. So what do you think? Because I'm very, very, very keen for Saros.
Yeah, I think obviously showing a lot more story and that kind of stuff. Like, I mean, there's going to be a lot more to grab onto for people who aren't necessarily the best at this kind of game. So, I mean, it's all looking super promising as a follow-up to Returnal, the Housemarque.
Can you play this? Because Returnal did nothing for you, so
we'll see. It still looks like a shooter. So,
well, at the end of the day, it is a shooter, I guess. That comes out April 30th. Then we got a trailer for Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls, introduce Storm and Magic into the game, making up the X-Men team. Comes out August 6th. Pretty cool trailer, showing off all the characters and stuff like that.
Yep. I'm enjoying how they're like theming, I guess, the releases of
teams,
new characters and that kind of stuff. So, I think they've got a date, August, right? Which I don't think was there before. So.
August 6th. Yeah, August 6th is the release date. Yeah.
So it looks promising. Yeah. Obviously, they had their playtests and that kind of stuff early end of last year and that kind of stuff. So hopefully they learned a lot from that and can. I'm sure it was going to sell well anyway, seeing as it's got the Marvel name to it. So, but yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, I assume it's going to do very well. But Sony obviously wants it to do well because they basically want it to rule fighting game tournaments going ahead. Yeah. So then we got to the last two things. So they firstly announced that they are working. They showed nothing, not even a screenshot or art or anything, but they announced that the first 3 games of the God of War trilogy, and then afterwards, apparently in a PS blog post, they also said it contains Ghost of Sparta as well. They're getting full remakes. So these are PS6 games.
You think?
That's what I'm going to assume, yeah. I think if you go in the world of, and I know this is a can of worms that always, it's sort of terrible that we're even into it and discussing it now, but we are now in the world where, would you believe it or not, we are coming up to, hey, that potentially the PS6 starts getting talked about this year, like as a thing.
Yeah.
Timeline wise, the PS5's lifespan is in the 6-year structure that they usually go on. We're coming towards the end of that. So I think if you pair that with the fact they said the game's very early in development, I'm going to assume it's a PS6 game.
Potentially. I still think I'm more of the opinion that PS5 still got a way to go because nobody has really tapped the full power of the PS5, and the costs of making a new console, I think, will just be financially ruinous. Where are they going to get the RAM, Dylan? Where are they going to get the RAM?
I don't know. I mean, I don't disagree. I'm not at a stage in the console life cycle of either Xbox or PlayStation as a combined the generation we're in that they need to add something new. But it's going to happen, and the reason it's going to happen is because they pretty much start working on the new ones after as soon as they ship the last console. So they have business deadlines and timelines, and
I know, but we had a worldwide pandemic that hopefully threw everything out for.
Yeah, they didn't care, did they? They managed to put out the last consoles during the pandemic. So we shall see. But I mean, there was already news floating around last week about the upcoming Xbox consoles from NVIDIA callings and stuff like that. Them talking about the Xbox partnership, and all signs point to Xbox's console still being on track to release.
I didn't think they were doing another console. Well, everything was an Xbox now, so they don't need to.
Well, the rumors for that one are that it's basically just a PC at this point. So it's less of a video game console, and it's just more of just a PC.
it's literally a Microsoft service.
Yeah,
they've just stuck an Xbox logo on it.
Probably.
On this, that's exciting because I never played the original games. I know my brother played all 3, or like he was really into them. So I guess my question is, do we think this is going to be like a just regular remake, or is it going to go the Final Fantasy VII route where they make it more like the current series of games?
I don't know. I guess they could go either way. I would hope they stick to I don't think I would like to see them change the core gameplay structure. Like the difference between the originals and the new ones is, I guess the originals are more like your hack and slash genre of action game, whereas the current run are more, what would word be? I don't know, just more methodical combat, like more thoughtful combat. Like it's less. But obviously the originals was a lot of combo based stuff. It's like square, 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 triangle does this move, square, square. Like it's unlocking and doing combos and stuff. I would prefer them to keep it the original structure. I think if they remake it, the exciting thing is that obviously we get into a lot more higher frame rates. We get into much more beautiful graphics and presentation, and suddenly the amount of shit that can be happening on screen, the amount of blood and stuff that can be flying around, the speed of which Kratos is flinging around the fucking
blades,
chains of Olympus. You know, they're the blades of chaos. Sorry,
yes.
We both got it wrong. They all that, like, I picture like a modern. I would go look at like the last Devil May Cry game. Look at Bayonetta, because I can't not bring it up. Oh no, you know, any modern those sort of genres, and I'm like that, but just remake the stuff. Also remove some stuff and potentially change some stuff, like the weird sex mini games.
Do they, I don't know, mellow out Kratos so it's not as jarring a jump from those to the new games?
Nah, because they already confirmed the voice actor's back, right? So why would you do that? The
voice actor's back, but like, you know, is he going to be as angry?
No, you got him. You can't melt him.
No, you know, rather than a raging hothead, he's a little bit more thoughtful. You know,
I think they could. I think you would have. I think there's the potential to reach a good balance. I think you have to keep him as the raging hothead because that's Kratos that everyone like. That is Kratos from this era.
You're going to say that everybody knows and loves, and that's not the one.
Well, they don't love, but it is the one that anyone who played the originals knows.
Yes,
I wouldn't say I love the original Kratos by any means, but it is when I picture the OG Kratos, I just picture this meathead, right? Now, I'm open for them trying to build a better balance and potentially add in some dialogue and scenes that helps him become more of a actual character rather than just a yelling machine. But I still think you would have to keep in a lot of that element because his rage is part of his character. At the end of the day, the rage is part of the character, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, okay. And then they announced afterwards that the rumored 2.5D God of War game is real. It's called God of War Sons of Sparta, and it dropped straight away after the showcase. So in this game, it is set before any of the other God of War games. You play as a very young Kratos when he's still just a Spartan warrior, just allowed outside the city walls sort of age, and you're roaming around with his brother Demios. Demios, yeah, and yeah, it's sort of his earliest adventure, I guess, is the picture that one. What do you think of them doing a side-scrolling God of War game? I guess and then also the shadow drop.
It's really interesting. One, because it doesn't look like anything God of War really. Like obviously, you know, every time you think of Kratos, it's at least him covered in tattoos and ashes. This just looks like some Greek kid.
Yep.
Running around, you know. So it being so starkly different to everything else, that's quite interesting. So, yeah, I don't know. It's a bold choice, and obviously they've got like some story ideas behind it. You would imagine, you know, rather than it just being a quick cash in.
We don't need to imagine because I've been playing it.
Okay, tell me. Tell me what to feel.
So there's not, and I think thankfully, because it wouldn't make any sense, there's not like a grand story here. There is a lot of story here. There's a lot of stopping and him and his brother talking. The focus is on him and his brother, and that works for me because the story with him and Demios is basically one that they'd covered to a degree in two of the other games, or at least Ghost of Sparta. Spoilers, but basically, sometime between this game and where we get to more proper Kratos stuff, his brother, I can't remember fully how it works, but like the gods steal him, kidnap him, and imprison him because of some fear that Demios would be the one to see the downfall of the gods, and then Kratos rescues him, I think, in Ghost of Sparta. I think that was the game. And then he hates Kratos at first for being like the brother that abandoned him and stuff like that. But then eventually like comes to terms and helps him. But at the end of that game, again, spoilers. At the end of that game, he dies at the hands of the gods, and that game being like a prequel to the original God of War, that game's purpose was more to show how the death of his brother is the final sort of nail in the coffin for Kratos as that's it, I'm going to go kill all the fucking gods now. That's sort of what that game's purpose was. So this one, I think its whole purpose is sort of adding a bit more backstory to showing how these two were actually as brothers when they were younger and what their relationship was actually like, which is interesting. I think you're 100% nail on the head when you're like, it doesn't look anything like Kratos or anything. It's not. I think that's sort of the point. Whether or not that pisses off some people or like doesn't give them the proper God of War experience that they may be after is what it is. But Kratos here is presented as he is a military cadet, little brat in a way of he's down to do nothing but, you know, he constantly is telling off his brother and arguing, you know, got to do this, everything for the glory of Sparta. We've got to train harder for the glory of Sparta, do this for Sparta, like everything. Like his brother, basically for the majority of the game so far, and I've played, I don't know, I think I played like 8 hours maybe. Something. I feel like I'm like 3/4 away possibly is how if I was guessing. But for the majority of the game, the storyline has been that there is a missing person from within Sparta. Someone gets asked if they can look for it. It's not something that you would usually do because looking for a random lost Spartan is not helpful. It's like he's wandered off on his own. We should be doing stuff. Kratos is very much like this is a lost cause while we're doing this. But Demios is constantly like, no, like we shouldn't leave any Spartan behind. We got to go look for him. So he's constantly like sort of dragging Kratos to look for stuff. But Demios comes across as more of a sort of not rule breaker, but definitely like open to other things. Like music comes up at one point, like they come across when we're looking for this character and he's like there's signs he was playing music and stuff like that. And I think Kratos is just straight away like music, that's the sole purpose of music is to drive people into battle better, or you know, something like. And then Demios is saying no, music is well loved by the gods and music is for celebration, it makes us happy. And Kratos is like, no, music's stupid. Like it's so there's signs of the grumpy old man Kratos there, but the way that the character's presented in this one is just very much like he is all for Sparta, wants to do nothing but make Sparta happy. And it's also interesting because he's a lot more happier with the gods and not wanting to piss off the gods in this one, and because he's a proper little Spartan kid. And you know that's interesting to watch in the within the confines of knowing what happens in the future, of course. They do flashback. So the story's being presented as him telling it to, what's his daughter's name? Calliope, I think. I could be wrong. I'm not like the biggest. I think it's Calliope who is telling it to, his daughter. And he's telling her the story of his early childhood days or whatever. So every now and then the game does flashback and do a little cinematic of him sitting there telling her the story of it all happening then. Whenever which would be set before God of War 1, I guess. Yeah, that's when. Yeah. Is it Calliope?
You just Calliope.
Thank you. I'm fucking good, I'll tell you. Some say I don't like these God of War games. But only the remake. That's the best. the reboot one. That's the best. Get out of here, boy. That's the ones I like. I liked it before we had a little annoying kid.
Yeah.
Let's go back to screaming and stuff. It is. I think that the most interesting thing about the game to me so far is that the developer, which is, can you find the developer's name real quick, actually, because I cannot remember. Because I looked them up and then I forgot to write it down, but they haven't done a whole lot, to be honest. They have very purposely gone for, like, what would be the best way to describe it? It's like they're purposely trying to create a game that looks and feels old, but not in like a cutesy way. You know how like you get, because there's a million 2.5D Metroidvanias out there, right? But with pixel art and everything, but they still want them to look and feel new with their pixel graphics. There is an element of this game that is just ugly, and I can't help but feel that it was done on purpose. And if it wasn't, it sort of annoys me. So some of the environments will constantly look good, like vistas. Like sometimes you stop and you'll see stuff happening in the background. You're like, that looks good. And some of the different little locations, it's following the typical shit. It's like, oh, here's a little poison area, here's the fucking snow area, sort of stuff. But the characters all look ugly and non-distinct, and I think that annoys me. Like both Kratos and oh my god, Demios, they just look boring. All the other characters you talk to, none of them stand out. Literally, I don't think any of the character models look good. IMO. I also don't think any of the monsters look too exciting. And the most disappointing thing about this game, in being a God of War game, is that if you do so when you fight enemies, they got a health bar and they got a stamina bar. If you knock down knock up to full their stamina bar first, it stuns them, and then you can press triangle on them and do a finishing takedown move like you can in all God of War games. But they're so boring. They're not like you'd expect them to be. You're used to Kratos jumping on fucking enemies' heads, ripping out their eyeballs, slashing their arms off. Something intense. It's just like, depending on what gear, I guess we're calling it, like, because throughout the game you get different tools or gear to help you. It's a Metroidvania, right? It's like, hey, now you can use this tool to cut down these vines or whatever. Depending on what one you have equipped, it's like some quick animation plays and the enemy died. But none of them are exciting. And I think, honestly, that's the most disappointing to me so far playing it. But it's not like bad or anything. It's just, I feel like it's fine. Like, I'm enjoying it. I've been playing it pretty much all day. I'm enjoying playing it, but it's just the whole time I'm just feeling perfectly fine about it. Some of the boss fight, like I did a boss fight before that took me quite a while to do against some fucking, I don't know, wine created creature thing. I don't even know what it was, but for anyone else playing the wine created one, that one was a pain in the ass. That took me a while to do. And yeah, but so some of the combat's fine as well. It's just not giving the God of War crunch that you would expect from every other God of War game. And I know that he's a young adult in this one. I'm not actually sure what age he's supposed to be, a teenager, I don't know, but we're not at that stage, but I'm also just like, that's the element that doesn't make it feel like God of War to me. Also, I really don't like the voice acting for anyone. I'm pretty sure, and I'll find out when I get to the credits at the end of the game, but I feel like there's 3 voice actors in the whole game and they're voicing all the characters. is how I feel about it. Like, I'll meet a new character and they'll talk and I'll be like, you sound like him, or you sound like, I just don't. And if it is a whole bunch of different voice actors, it's just a bunch of 40-year-old white dudes. I swear to God, like it has to be a bunch of people that look the same. There's no element to this. Also, the girl who's voicing Calliope is annoying the living fuck out of me. Thank God she's not a bunch of the game. Every time they cut back to her and she's like, but Dad, what do you mean the gods of this? I'm like, shut the fuck up. Something about your voice is annoying me. So anyway, I'm going to finish it.
So Mega Cat Studios is the developers. They've been recently doing the backyard sports games.
Okay.
But probably the biggest name recently game they did was WrestleQuest.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, and that's nothing like this. But that's the thing. Like, WrestleQuest has like they pixel art and everything again, but at least all the characters stood out. I don't know what there's a choice here to make this look. I just feel like they're like, we don't want this to be, it's like 2026 inspired by pixel art. We want to make something that looks like it actually came out in the fucking 80s. I don't know. Like, at least that's how I feel about it. So, yeah. Any other questions about?
No, I can clarify. I can definitely say it's more than 3 white people voicing it.
Oh, brilliant. I know the voice actor who's voicing Kratos, the kid. Also, I was scrolling through Instagram before and saw apparently it's the same voice actor that voiced young Kratos in one of the PSP games, I think, or something like that. So, but also, it's not an exciting performance. I mean, I don't know how you make it. His voice lines are mostly for the glory of Sparta. No, Demios. We heard, like, there's not. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's fine. I'm enjoying the story enough though. Like even though the voice acting and their character models aren't great, the general I'm intrigued to see where it ends and what they try and say about these two characters' relationships. Because like I'm aware of their relationship from having played the other games, but they're adults, and also when you see those two characters interact in that game, it's all after they've been through so much shit, especially Demios, who's been captured and tortured for umpteen years by Zeus at that point. So it's a bit different seeing them just be normal humans before they realize what life has in store for both of them, and that Zeus is a piece of shit. So look at him going to. Good job. All right, the only other big thing I think that happened this week was about Highguard. So let's go through this. See what thoughts you have on this one. So Eurogamer writes, Highguard not shutting down following Wildlight layoffs with a core group of developers left to support game. They write, just weeks after release, an unspecified number of Wildlight's Highguard development team has been laid off. The studio's live service hero shooter will not be shut down, Wildlight has confirmed to Eurogamer, but instead will be given to a core group of developers to keep the game going. In a statement shared with Eurogamer this morning, Wildlight wrote, quote, today we made an incredibly difficult decision to part ways with a number of our team members while keeping a core group of developers to continue innovating on and supporting the game. The Highguard studio added, it is proud of the team talent and the product it has created. We're also grateful for players who gave the game a shot and those who continue to be part of our community, end quote. While Wildlight did not say how many members were affected by today's layoffs, posts on the likes of LinkedIn suggest it was a majority of the team. So some team members writing things like, unfortunately, along with most of my team at Wildlight, I was laid off today from Alex Garner, the level designer. Tech artist Josh Sobel said it was the best team I've ever worked with. I've never been so much proud of a project before. In a follow-up post, Sobel said that they loved working at Wildlight and it's hard envisioning going up from here. And then other people saying things like, I don't think gamers really understand just how special this group of talented devs was. There were stumbles as any new team would face, but our ability to execute on goals and pivot at a moment's notice was unmatched. I am devastated that the team as a complete unit can no longer go on. Yep. So, I mean, how do you... what... Highguard, but then also what does it say about the video game industry as a whole that this sort of stuff just keeps happening? So the game's announced it in December, Jeff Keighley's Game Award show, end trailer, big moment, big piece. Game releases late January. I think it was late January, wasn't it? Yeah. Late January, comes out in a bit of a wet puddle. Automatically, it's getting all these Steam negative reviews for multitude of reasons, stuff like that. We let the game last about a month, and then they're like, no, we're going to shut it. We're pretty much cutting the team down to just barely enough people to keep the servers going, but not enough to keep active development on sort of other things happening. Go video games.
Well, I mean, it probably says more about the structure of video games. It's like, again, it's like we talk about the story every single time that there's massive layoffs. Like there is the nature of video games is that it is solely reliant on your next release, to keep people employed. If it's not successful, then you just don't have the funds to keep people around potentially to develop another thing that's going to be 3-5 years away. My guess is the Highguard team probably already have like the next 12 months of stuff in the can. If they get to 12 months, then they could potentially hire or get more people in to start making other content. But I'm guessing on their metrics, it seems unlikely they'll get all the content that they've made out before the costs of running a multiplayer game outweigh the funds that are coming in.
Yep. And it's just the I don't know if it's put the full blame on live service games or just the instant gratification to CEOs' pockets.
I wouldn't say it's solely about live service games. I mean, if a single player game is terrible and it's released, then
the team shut down.
The team shuts down too. So it's like video games in general. I think it's probably more than it's like. Again, it's because video games is the one like creative art form where you build a team, and you have to have a team to build the next thing as well. A specific team, like TV shows, films. Everybody goes their separate ways after.
I was about to say, films, you build a team, but the understanding is we're building it. I build a team.
Now.
For now, we do a project and we finish the project and then we
go our separate ways. Yeah.
Might get the team back later, but where
video games have not been structured that way. So maybe that's a model that we have to look at. Is it smart to have a team break down every single time?
Yeah, no, it's interesting, I guess, because there's, of course, the element where it's like video games take longer. Well,
that's also the thing. Like, at least with films, like there is a set start date and a set end date. But people are on set, or have set work. With video games, it's such a malleable process that it could take 3 years, it could take 5 years.
Yeah,
you can't exactly really, line up your next gig
project. Yeah. That's the problem, I guess, and the reason why that module, wouldn't work in video games. I mean, you can't be like, I'll sign on to do this project. It's for 2 years, and then I'll sign on and know that I can do this. It's like, oh, sorry, the 2-year project's turned into 5.
Yeah, I think that's why we're seeing, like, at least with a lot of first party studios, at least they're like have a lot of irons in the fire at the moment. Like they need to have, because games take so long, they need to have multiple things in the go at the same time. Not only to have people doing stuff all the time, but to also keep bringing money in to the studios and that kind of thing. So that's why we're getting our Hunters calling. That's why we're getting a Sons of Sparta. That's why we're getting all these remakes of games.
Yeah. I don't know if people. The problem is I don't think most people realize that. Like why is there so many like spin-off random things or remakes? It's because it's like we just want to keep you interested in our IP and be able to put something out that you can give us money back so we can
while we're working be able to make a reasonably easy to make
thing
product
and get a good return on the investment to invest that money into
the next crazy thing we're hoping to do next.
Yeah, really, the problem with the video game industry, I always think, just comes down to the fact that we like taking the Highguard thing out of it. But if you think about just all the big AAA games and how long they take and stuff, like the problem is that we went too far sometimes. Like the graphics and the details and whatever else.
It needs to look the best it could possibly look. The story needs to be fantastic, and we also want them to reinvent the wheel of gaming every single time. There needs to be some sort of new hook that we've never seen before. Otherwise, it's not worth doing. Fucking gamers are the worst.
Yeah, it's like the only medium where you can like where every time there's it's just if you go watch a movie, you're not looking for them to reinvent the wheel. It's just like tell me a really good story and
how really crazy
performances.
Caught the murderer at the end.
Was it another first-person shooter? Invent a new genre. Another Metroidvania? Based on the fact that the rest are very successful. How dare you? Who's making these calls? Another card game, indie game?
Okay, that one would be
a farming? The farms have had enough. All right, let's talk about two other games. I've been playing something, and then you put in here that you've been playing something. So I've been the other new game I've been playing this week, outside of God of War, of course, I jumped into, but was Mario Tennis Fever, released this week. So I've been playing I played a little bit of the jump in, let's just play some tennis, and then I've mostly been focusing my time in the quote-unquote story mode. I'm just working my way through that to see the point of that, which so far I'm very confused by it. But general gameplay wise and everything, I think it's very good. I think it plays very smooth. Of course, this is the common thing with Nintendo Switch 2 at the moment is you just instantly feel that it moves and plays so much better than like tennis or played on the original. What was the last one? Nintendo's Mario Tennis. I can't even remember the name of the last one. All Stars? No, Aces. Sorry, Aces. Mario Tennis Aces, I think was the last one. Nintendo Switch. But yeah, I think it just plays so much smoothly straight away. And I think the shot system improved upon. It's either improved upon or just the fact that it runs at a high frame rate makes me feel like it's improved upon, because I feel like when I'm actively trying to like press what I don't know all the shot names off my head, but if I'm trying to press the button to do like the spin shot and I'm trying to like flick the left stick so it sort of hits to the left and then it'll spin to the right, and if I'm actively trying to do a shot like that, and when I do it, I'm like, yeah, cool, because that's what I was trying to do. There's not often I feel like I do something by mistake. I feel like every move, and the game has a fair few different, and you learn them mostly by going through the story modes. Like, you've got like obviously 4 buttons on the controller there for different shots, but then it's also like you hold them down, charge shots, and then hold them down, then double tap the button, the power shots, and then there's press this button, then quickly press this other button to do that shot, and then you get into the world where you're looking and seeing your opponents are close to the net, so you're purposely doing like a powerful straight shot to just slam it in the back corner, or you can see they're both gathered on the one side of the net, so you just slam it over to the other side, or you see that they're both all the way towards the back of the court, and you can actually do a drop shot, like hit it like pretty much very close to the other side. So there's I'm feeling good about the overall tactics. I don't feel like it's not very arcadey in the realm of just smashing buttons and seeing what's happening. Like, I'm definitely actively thinking about the shots and moves I'm making as I'm playing it, which is good. And then you've got the fever element. I have not experimented around with much, so I can't really say too much on it. But that is the whole thing where you'll get different. Basically, the characters will like power up a meter, and depending on what racket they'll have attached. Now, I think you can play without it, obviously, if you want more of a non-gimmicky tennis feature. But different rackets will have different power-ups. So it's like the first one at the start of the game is like a lava or like a fire one. And if you activate it, then you hit a shot, and you've got the choice of either it'll be a super powerful shot, so you can just yeet it and try and that'll be enough to get through your opponent anyway, because if you just yeet it into the corner, they won't catch it. But then also if you just fling it, smash it right in their eyeballs, they're going to catch on fire, and you have a health bar, and if you lose health, then you get knocked out and you're going to lose or you're going to lose that round, or whatever we call it, points, or however tennis works. I still don't know. Okay. I'm playing the fucking game and they're like 15, 30. I'm like 1, 2, 3, 4, cunt. Why is it 15, 30?
I don't know why the point system is set that way, but yes, it's game sets of a match.
Yeah, I understand that point. I understand game set match, all that stuff makes sense. It's just the fact that when you get the first bowl, they're like 15. I go, no, 1. Are we going to explain tennis? What's a very easy explanation for this? And because it's commentated too by Mr. fucking I float around in a cloud sitting over there playing the ball boy. So he'll be like 15 server, 30 server, match point, all this sort of stuff.
Okay, so interestingly, originally it was based around a clock, right? So 15, 30. So
does make sense. Yeah.
And then it was going to be 45, but they shortened it to 40.
Okay.
So you win like an hour, I guess, is the theory behind it initially.
Well, considering they gave up straight away and took it to 40, I think they should just gave up on the whole idea. Now, I feel like the reason they did it is because I guess if you're already counting sets, and that's like ones that it's like, so the score's 2 to 3 or 2 to, you know what I mean? Before the winner, if you're counting sets, they didn't want to have single digits in the actual volleys. I get the idea. However, I still, every time it happens, I go, it was like 15-30. I'm like, it's 1 to 2. Right? It's just, they've got two
Again,
balls.
there's talk of this. Google says it originated in the 16th century. So,
and what they know back then? Nothing.
Yeah, we don't know. It's too old for us to know the answers.
And we just keep doing it. You know, that's what I mean. Like maybe we should question things sometimes, people. You know, just because something's presented to you doesn't mean we have to keep doing it.
Yeah, but we all have grown up with it, so we all know that's the point structure.
Well, as someone who doesn't really watch tennis,
it's your fault.
I'm saying it's dumb.
Okay.
The story mode is, I think I'm like nearly done. From what I can tell, well, at least I feel like I'm getting towards the end. Who knows how it plays out? But so the story mode is like, it starts with Daisy being sick. Yes, Daisy's sick, and then someone suggests, Waluigi or someone, one of those bad motherfuckers, they suggest that we should go to this place and there'll be a magical fruit there, and then the magical fruit will be able to help us. Then we all go there, and by we I mean Mario, Luigi, Waluigi, Wario. I think it's just those 4 actually. Well, they all go, right? So they go down. Mario and Luigi. This is all a pretty cool cinematic opening to what is a fucking tennis game. They go down. They get the fruit. They're leaving with it. Next second, Waluigi and Wario, they're bloody running out of this temple because they've stolen a bunch of stuff. And then there's this black lost like smoke creature things come pouring out, and it shoots us all and turns them all into babies. So then we head back to, what's home called? What do we call home?
Mushroom Kingdom?
Mushroom Kingdom, thank you. We go back to the Mushroom Kingdom, and there everyone's like, man, if Mario and Luigi had have had good tennis rackets, they would have won that battle because they would have been able to hit back all the stuff they were shooting out. Because that's, of course,
blame it on the equipment.
Like they didn't have the right equipment, right? So now they're like, obviously the only way they'll be able to get turned back from being babies is they'll have to go defeat the smoke monster. So we're just running on our ass of assumptions in this game's story so far. I'll tell you what. But they're like this. All I know is all the little characters, as babies, they look pretty cute, so that's fun. So then they're like, Mario and Luigi, you are babies now. You don't have much like arm strength and stuff. You've lost a lot of your skills. So you got to go to tennis school. So now we're in tennis school. And the story mode is pretty much, after that point, the very exciting, interesting opening cutscene. Then it's like, I want you to go do an assortment of mini games, which are training the strength, and then learn all these different shots by talking to a Toad character. And then every now and then you go do a match, and you're moving up from like, you start at like rank E, and then I'm up to rank B, and then I assume once again to rank A, I'll go fight the smoke monster or something. I don't know. Stay tuned to find out. But yeah, anyway. And then I figured I'd smash out story mode first and then play around with a bunch more of the just actual thing. Yeah. I know the last game story mode wasn't really a story mode, and so far this is also just like it's a story mode, but you can tell the whole purpose is to teach you about all the different shots and how tutorial. To do them. Pretty much, yeah. But I'm having fun. I'm having fun. I think it's all right. Tennis, eh? Tell you what. Anyway, that's what I've been playing. You've been playing Mewgenics.
Yes, the who's behind it? It's Edmund McMillan and Tyler Glaylil. So it's a tactical roguelike. So pretty much you own a house that is filled with cats. And you're hoarding cats, you're breeding cats, and cats are both the characters that you send out to do missions, but they're also currency, a form of currency. So, you're collecting cats in your house. At night, they'll occasionally, either they'll fight each other or they'll breed, all that kind of stuff. Then the next day, you send 4 cats out on a mission to collect food and coins. They each get a different class. You assign them a different class, and then they go out and you go do a basic roguelike-esque run um, trying to get them stronger, get better equipment, get as much food and coins as you possibly can. And then at the end of your run, you come back home. You can either keep your cats to keep breeding them, or you can, I guess, trade them in would be the nicest way to put it, to earn upgrades for either your house or for different shops in order to buy more stuff or have more space in your inventory and that kind of stuff. So it's just kind of interesting trade-off of like, do you want to keep these cats around because they have the potential to pass those stats on to new kittens who you could send on bigger runs, and then you could have stronger stats starting off than that? Or do you get rid of all your cats as quickly as possible so you can build other upgrades and that kind of thing? So there's a lot of Weirdly is incredibly in depth, just by being like very much a spiritual successor to Binding of Isaac, with a lot of similar imagery, a lot of like poop jokes, and like there's a lot of poop in this game. If you're not about the poops, there's cats pooping all over the building. And then there's like poop enemies, including, there's little floaters going around in water, and occasionally your cat will be scared and they'll do a poop next to them, which is like a structure.
It just sounds realistic to me. It doesn't sound like a problem, really.
I mean, it is realistic in the larger sense, but like it is very, very cartoony and over the top humor, I guess, in the macro sense. I'm really enjoying it. It is very addictive. Like you just kind of want to do one more run and that kind of thing. There's also this kind of interesting trade-off of like, there's at the moment you do like 3 different stages. At least for me at the moment, I could unlock further ones down. But it's like once you get to the end of a stage, you have the option to go home or continue on. So at that stage, you're like, oh, if you got like a shit team and they'll probably die in the next stage, you just go home and keep all your equipment and stuff that you've got. Otherwise, you like risk it all and go for the next stage to like get more food, get more money, to get more potentially better equipment, and to like new abilities and that kind of stuff. It's really in depth with like a bunch of like active abilities or like passive abilities that you can pick and choose from depending on the class, and like there's different mutations that the cats can have depending on the lineage, like the parents and that kind of stuff potentially. I'm really digging it so far. So like a lot there, quite humorous. The music is surprisingly good. There's like some really catchy songs, weirdly fitting within the theme of Mewgenics and that kind of thing. So so many different types of equipment to collect and that kind of stuff, and lots of callbacks to like their previous games. Like you can collect like a bunch of bandages, just like Super Meat Boy, or like there's been like several like crying children, like the baby things from Binding of Isaac. Did you come across? If you like those games, you're going to like this one, I think. You gonna say?
No, I was going to say, do you reckon it'll be, because obviously Binding Isaac, people play that and have like 1,000 hours in it.
I think this definitely has the potential to get people playing it for thousands of hours, just because it is quite addictive, and there is that one more run quality. And I feel like there is the potential of a lot of stuff to unlock, and it taking a while to unlock everything. I don't know how much of a main story there is. Like, I've still got like shops, I guess, to unlock within the overworld and that kind of stuff. So, despite being maybe 12, 16 hours in so far. So, I can see this one taking up a lot of my time. And it's super easy to drop in, drop out. Like, you can pause halfway through a run, come back later, pick up pretty easily, as long as you remember what your character's abilities are and what they kind of do. There's like,
it's on my list. I'm definitely going to have to play it, because coming into this year, that was like one of the indie games where I was like, presumably this will be good, and presumably it'll be one of the top 10.
It's one of the highest scoring games of the year so far. So
yeah. That said, what the fuck else? What's come out this year? So
not much else has come out. So it's like a month and a half in. So
yeah, seems like a good Steam Deck game to me.
Potentially, like, I don't. Yeah, I've been playing it with mouse and keyboard. Well, mouse predominantly, so I don't know if it actually does have like control. I assume it would have controller support.
I'm looking on the website right now. Steam Deck verified. There we go.
Yeah. Okay.
I feel like if you put out any game now and you want it to be a success, you better have that motherfucker Steam Deck verified from.
Well, it being Steam Deck verified is not the same as it being. Oh yeah, you can use Xbox or PlayStation controller.
No. Yeah. Verified is like it runs perfectly. Now,
yeah, but you've got like touchpads on the Steam Deck, so you could just use those for a mouse.
Yeah, but who would want to do that?
Well, if it doesn't have controller support.
What are you, a sicko? Disgusting.
Yeah, okay. You're a sicko like the game's Mewgenics? There are some fucking creepy characters in this game, including one that just takes your username from Steam, and that's what they called.
Oh, that's kind of crazy, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Very good. Yeah, I shall try to get to it soon. I nearly brought it the other day. But I was like, no, I'm trying to finish.
Then you got codes.
Yeah, and I was like, no, I'm playing God of War. Yeah. So we'll see. But I will definitely play it soon. All right, that'll do it for this week's episode of Arcade Couch. Of course, let us know any comments, questions, concerns about anything we discussed this week on the show, or send us something to discuss next week by heading to explosionnetwork.com/follow, where you'll find all of our social links. And if you like this episode and would like to support the podcast and Explosion Network, head on over to explosionnetwork.com/support, and we'll see you here next week, same time, same couch.